we haven't opened the board meeting yet. Councilman Deane, this will be his last board meeting. And this, Charlie, you know, I don't follow, you know, crazy. Councilman Deane, you are going to open and close this meeting, and I would like to think that you will lead us in the pledge and do some other things here tonight. So.
Okay, tonight's town board meeting, December 16th, is about to start.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, this is good time because we get going. I can just close this in.
I love it. You know, I was thinking I'd bring my head over for you to use the hammer on. Dolly. Yeah, Dolly, you gotta go quick.
Supervisor Larry.
Here.
Councilman McCullough. Here. Councilman Abbott.
Here.
Councilman Cato.
Here.
Councilman Deane.
Here.
Councilman Deane.
Present.
Executive privilege, the next change. Councilman Deane, and actually I would also like Councilman Abbott and Councilwoman Deputy Supervisor Cataldi and Councilman Cahill to come up here. As I said earlier, Councilman Deane, on December 31st will retire. He's had 50 years service to this town. 50 years. The highway department, he was 9 years old. Now, this is a proclamation for outstanding public service presented to Barry Deane. This is signed by the supervisor, but I'm taking executive privilege. I would like Bill Abbott and Patty Cataldi to split reading this. You have served with Barry the longest. I hope you don't mind, John. You and I are kind of the rookies, so we'll, you know.
Proclamation for outstanding public service presented to Barry Deane. Whereas on December 31st, 2021, after 50 years of dedicated service in a variety of capacities to the town of Webster, Barry Deane will be retiring. And whereas Barry began working for the town in November 1971 in the highway department as a laborer, in September 1981 he was promoted to working foreman, and by September 1989 was again promoted to roads foreman. And whereas in July 1992 Barry was appointed as the superintendent of highways and held this position until 2008 when he retired. And whereas Barry's love and dedication for Webster and his hopes and dreams for the future of Webster led him to run for town councilman. In November of 2009, Barry was elected as town councilman, and in January 2010, he took office as councilman on the Webster Town Board. And
whereas Barry was a board liaison to several departments during his tenure, he's included finance, public works, parks and recreation, Webster Museum, planning and zoning, and police department. His long years of outstanding service will always be appreciated. And whereas after 12 years of the town's governance, Barry will end his service, selfless service, on December 31st, 2021. And whereas Barry Deane gave the most precious gift he could give to this community, his time for this, for the Webster owners, to Barry a debt of gratitude. Now therefore be it resolved that on this occasion of his retirement, as town councilman, the Webster Community and Webster Board extend our sincerest thanks to Barry and declare Friday, December 17th, 2021, as Barry Deane. Barry Deane. Dated December 16th, 2021.
Hey, tomorrow's my day, Bill?
Tom, you're still working.
Yeah. And would you like your family to come up? Or,
Come on up, Dean!
Yippee. Here comes your family.
Teddy! Janine, this is Charlotte.
Oh my gosh. Where's Charlotte?
Where's Jamie?
He's at
Okay. This is my gang.
Proud of you.
Listen, I've known this young man since he was about born.
Yeah.
And he's been our pastor for the last several years. And
71 you started, my goodness. My goodness.
Hi, Gail. Hey, hi, Gail. How are you? Morty, did you plan this?
Yeah,
You're right, Sarah.
Congratulations.
Oh, no. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Am I supposed to make a speech now?
Since when have you been able to now?
Wow. High school, I went to work for Eastman Kodak for a year, and then I went to college for a year. And that didn't work out for me, so I was going to go back to Kodak. In the meantime, I went to work at the highway department in the fall of '71. And 37 years later, I retired. One thing that hasn't been mentioned is the last 4 years that I've been working, I also spent 4 years down at the sewage treatment plant as their administrator. That was quite a job. It's a very interesting place to work, and the people that work there are very dedicated and very proud of their output. But anyhow, over the years I've worked for 9 different supervisors. You're being the 9th. And many boards and counselors, Charles Genesi and Jerry Matrano before you. And it's been a real pleasure and a real privilege to serve the residents of the town of Webster. I enjoy it every day. Thank you.
I would like to say thank you, Mayor, for all that you've done. We've known each other a long time. We first ran for this board together and served for 12 years together. You have never wavered in your priorities. Family is always number one, as it should be. Which is actually the reason you're stepping down, because you're expecting 2 more grandbabies. I'm very grateful they did not come tonight. I talked to Audrey about that. I said, do not let it happen Thursday night.
She's all packed, ready to go.
I'm sure she is. So, and second in your list of priorities, what I have recognized over the years is that your guiding star has always been what's best for this town. And you always serve this board with that in mind. There was never any personal agenda items. It was always just what was in the best interest of this town. And I want to thank you for that. I know we'll still be in touch, but I will miss your presence on this board as well.
Well, I can't add much. Obviously, Merry Christmas to everybody. My colleagues here, everybody in it. And likewise, I'm Louis Barry too. It's a real pleasure working with you both, Cassie, as highway superintendent, especially as some very valuable lessons. Again, I hope to continue something in some capacity. I'm not sure.
Well, there was a reason I had Bill and Patty read the proclamation, because you guys have worked along this with Barry. I just met Barry a little over 2 years ago, and I just can't thank you enough for, you've helped me tremendously, and everything everybody else said, even the department heads, I've had them unsolicited to say, that's a very different type of town board. Department heads who have experienced town board members at other towns, you are a rare breed, and we will miss you. But I'm going to give you a couple months and then we'll get that.
I know I top what everybody else said. I've been around this guy 40 plus years. He's always looked for the town's best interests, all of them. Not always what we wanted to see, but he always wanted with the best interests. So for that, Barry, thank you.
Thank you, Bill. well, it took me by surprise. That was a very, very, very nice surprise to see my family. I didn't expect any of that. And some other friends and stuff that came as well. I had a little, I figured I'd have to speak, so I did have some notes written down. I didn't have them with me, so I did forget one thing, two things actually. Over the years, like I said, I worked for 9 different supervisors and a variety of boards. And they all came from all different walks of life. I mean, some professionals, some farmers, some business owners, all different walks of life. And they all had one thing in common, and that was that they were all for what was the very best thing for Webster. Many of them grew up here, some of them did not, but moved here and lived here a long time, but they're all looking out for what was best for the Webster residents, and it's been a real pleasure to work with folks like that. As highway superintendent, they give me my head. I could just go, and I was able to innovate. I was able to experiment with certain types of snow removal products and that kind of deal, and they just, if you were up front and forward, they always just, okay, sometimes I didn't win every argument, that's for sure. But usually it was out of good common sense that I didn't get a certain issue, that kind of thing. So I've always felt a tremendous amount of support for the people that I work for and work alongside. So it's been really great. The same thing with the residents. The residents have been wonderful. They can be tough, because you're not always giving them everything they want, but they're always, if you talk to them, they always seem to understand for the very most part. And the other thing I wanted to say is, Ginny, you're going to be sitting up here soon. Do not be afraid to ask questions, because there's going to be a lot going on up here you're just not going to fathom immediately. And the sooner you ask the questions, the sooner you'll be up, because sometimes it's hard to ask the question. You don't want to appear unknowing. Okay? But thank you all so much. I appreciate everybody's support and confidence, and I really enjoyed it tremendously. It's been a really, really nice career, and I have been blessed.